A 9-year-old Felicia Kononchik from Russia had garnered a small TikTok following with her cheerful, child-oriented videos. Yet, on February 17, 2021, her new upload would not only be unusual, but rather unsettling.
Всем привет, у меня сейчас жесть история. У нас там сосед, он пьяный, он, стучится на дверь, всю ломает нафиг. Он уже несколько минут здесь стоит, стучится, орёт, матерится. Я просто, мне страшно, блин. Ну, вообще, мне страшно. Я с братом младшим, старшим, и там еще ремонт делают. Папа ушел в магазин. Я не знаю, что делать, он нам сейчас дверь сломает. Дверь просто капец. Мне очень страшно, у меня сердце бьется. Я боюсь, у меня просто... Он сначала прям долбился, будто ногой, а теперь вот долбиться, это прям слышно. Это очень жестко слышно. У меня просто башка раскалывается.
So basically, they had these construction workers at their place, and the neighbor, a 33-year-old retail worker named Vasily Donets, seems to be all worked up about the noise. And to top it off, like Felicia said, he was drunk. He kept knocking and kicking the door all morning, but Felicia didn't respond because her dad went outside. However, the construction men didn't come to her help, which is kinda weird and unexplained in this whole thing. Perhaps they couldn't guess what was coming. Anyway, Felicia then goes near the door in the next shot, trying to capture the violent knocks in her video, but they are inaudible. Maybe because she's still at some distance from the main door.
Это он только что стучал, вот. Я как смогла, так свистал. Боюсь, все пойдет опять. Ну, по-честному, он уже, час где-то стоит, что ёбаный, блин, сердце страшно, жестко. Это жестко. Мой брат, спрятался и все.
Felicia posted this video on her TikTok, and suddenly after that, the door went quiet. Meanwhile, her dad came back from the market, and things seemed to chill out. On the other end, one of her friends seeing the video shot her a message, checking if she was fine and down for a walk. She agreed and started waiting. And exactly 15 minutes after her upload, there came another knock on the door, but this time just a regular, calm knock. Like anyone else, Felicia probably thought it was her friend who came to pick her up, but that assumption would be dead wrong. When she opened the door, there was Donets, staring at her with his 12-gauge hunting rifle, desperate, drunk, and clueless about what he was doing. Terrified, Felicia tried to slam the door shut, but the drunk, nasty neighbor let off a barrage of shots at her. Some hit her directly, while others pierced the metal door, striking her head and various parts of her body. Hearing the shots, her father ran towards her, but all he heard were the final words of his bloodied daughter, which were, "Dad, I've been killed." Donets was immediately apprehended by the authorities. Once he regained his senses, he confessed to shooting the 9-year-old. Subsequently, during the legal proceedings, he was charged with Felicia's murder and got sentenced to life in prison. If you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure to subscribe.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
All right, great. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in his case and we were playing, like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep, and I woke up, and he was dead in the suitcase, so I don't know what happened.
Okay, is he hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No, he's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me, okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
All right, okay, listen. Okay, man, that's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him, okay? Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Baby, I'm telling you. Just by looking at him, you can tell.
Okay. And?
Please! Okay, he just gurgled.
This was a 911 recording between 42-year-old Sarah Boone and the police about her boyfriend George Torres Jr., who was stuck in a suitcase, leaving him to die a slow and painful death as he suffocated for hours. And Sarah herself claimed that she wasn't responsible for the passing of her boyfriend. On that night, both were drunk and decided to play hide and seek. Her boyfriend, for whatever reason, decided to hide in a suitcase, but it was actually Sarah who zipped it up. In a drunken state, she claims that she completely forgot about George in that suitcase. She decided to just go to sleep. After she woke up, she couldn't find George and suddenly remembered that he was in the suitcase. Upon opening the zipper, she found his dead body. Strangely, she recorded the entire thing, disproving anything she claimed. On TikTok, she recorded her boyfriend in the suitcase, labeling it as a prank and making fun of him. George can be heard begging to be let out. Sarah and George had a history of domestic issues, with Sarah reporting George to the police for domestic violence, but dropping the charges each time. Sarah saw this as a form of revenge, and she can also be heard saying, quote, "For everything you have done to me."
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real ransom. I want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you ching on me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Fucking breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up.
Sarah.
During the interrogation, Sarah was confronted with this footage, but Sarah neither wanted to see it, nor wanted to comment on it. Police also claimed that they had footage of Sarah flipping over the suitcase, but refusing to open it. Even with all of this damning evidence, Sarah refused to acknowledge that her intentions were malicious, lying that there was a hole in the suitcase where George could breathe through. The more the police questioned her, the more she lied, insisting on her innocence and disregarding the footage she captured for TikTok. The entire situation is so weird and stupid. Why would you ever, under any circumstance, get into a suitcase? Why would you decide to record the murder of your boyfriend while taunting and laughing at him and upload it to TikTok? In the end, she was charged with second-degree murder. In court, the judge rejected her request to have a standby counsel to assist her at trial, effectively leaving her no choice other than to represent herself. The court hearing is, from what I've gathered, still ongoing. The following footage features a TikTok live that gives a glimpse into a seemingly ordinary day for a group of friends exploring a bustling market in Nepal. Unbeknownst to them, their carefree adventure was moments away from spiraling into a seriously disturbing event.
这不是什么博莱雅吗？欧莱雅吧？
欧莱雅的欧不是在前面，不然他的莱在前面。他这叫莱欧。
小胖，你跟西西结婚吧？哦，你小胖，你跟那个马克结婚吧？行啊。结婚你
我请要发个请网红酸奶吗？
哪里有网红酸奶？这个好喝吗？
我也不知道怎么。
就在前面。
And just like that, the screen goes wild with violent shaking and screaming, and the broadcast cuts out. At this point, it's not clear what exactly went down in the chaotic moment, but we'll get to the bottom of it. First, let's take a moment to know who this guy is and what he's all about, so we can better understand the context of this event. He's a guy named Feng Zhengyung, who's 37 years old and famous on TikTok as Ayun floats around the world. In this video, he's talking about getting infected with the dengue virus and other stuff in Chinese, but that's not the main point here. If you scroll through some of his videos, you'll notice a common thread running through him. He just walks up to random strangers, almost always girls, and strikes up conversations, asking their names, commenting on their looks, and getting way too close for comfort. Now check out the captions on his videos. They really drive home the same point, though mostly in Chinese, but he keeps calling the girls beauties and throws in words like big and whatnot. Well, he's basically that weird guy with no real consistent theme in his content, just random dark and cringy stuff with those stranger girls that makes you raise an eyebrow. One user even commented on his video, sharing the same concern. And creepy enough, that's not even what he's known for. At some point in late 2021, Feng bumped into the 20-year-old TikTok star Gan Sozhong, who was blowing up, amassing 5 million followers. Back then, Gan was on the lookout for a team of small creators who could help manage his videos while creating their own content along the way, with Gan as the leader. This idea brought together a group of people, including Feng, aka Ayun. Now, unlike Ayun, Gan's content was vibrant, impactful and fun. Originally Chinese, he fell in love with Africa, settled in Zambia, found a job, and even got himself a girlfriend there before starting his TikTok page named Fatty Goes to Africa, which became a big hit. Gan would share snippets of African lifestyle, people, food, and everything else he adored about the place. In their group, others were also on a similar path, except for Feng, a fact that the group was well aware of. They often pointed out Feng's mysterious attitude and content, but Gan, being laid back, didn't take any action and gave Feng full freedom over his content choices. But that wouldn't sit well with him. Soon, conflicts started breaking out in the group, and as you'd imagine, Feng peaced out and went solo. However, even after they split, things were cool between Feng and Gan. They'd meet now and then, maybe catch up on the phone and stuff. But in mid-2022, things started going south. It all kicked off when Gan was heading back to China for a while, and Feng hit him up with a request. He gave him $1,400 and asked him to get him a new iPhone from China. But when Gan got back, there was no iPhone, and he didn't cough up the cash either. This whole story, however, is just Feng's side of things, and there's no proof for any of it. Apparently, Feng was so pissed off by what he felt Gan did that he took it to TikTok to call him out. Gan, on the other hand, also went live to shut down Feng's claims, calling them false and misleading. Now, most of these videos are taken down, so I couldn't find the original ones, but they both cancelled each other out. But as Gan tells it, Feng never gave him money to get a phone, proving his innocence to his followers. Feng, being who he was, got even more offended with Gan's response, and this time came up with even more allegations. He even said that Gan had sent COVID-infected food to his place and threatened him, but Gan didn't respond to those allegations. This just fueled Feng's agony even more, and now he was seeking payback, not just making accusations. On December 4th, 2022, Gan and his friends were soaking in the rich culture and natural beauty of Nepal. While wandering through a bustling market in the capital city, Gan started a TikTok livestream where he jokingly mentioned that he planned to track down Feng and beat him up. This joke set off Feng, who had been watching the livestream and lurking nearby, already plotting his revenge. As the livestream continued, Gan's camera suddenly cut to black amidst violent screams. And what happened next sent shockwaves across the internet. Those watching the livestream had no clue about the chaos unfolded there. However, shortly after, some videos from the market started circulating, quickly going viral. Gan was stabbed multiple times in the back, chest, abdomen, and head. In the uncensored video, you could see Gan half lying on the ground, clutching his stomach to observe the injury in the abdomen and gesturing for a phone, presumably signaling to onlookers to call for help. But of course, I couldn't show the entire thing here, and trust me, you don't want to search for it. It's pretty messed up. Feng also stabbed one of the other teammates who tried to help Gan. But what's ice cold here is that the person standing next to Gan is Feng himself. Even after stabbing Gan in front of the whole crowd, Feng didn't flee. He stayed there the whole time, scalding the wounded Gan, making sure he knew before dying. Shortly after, Gan and his friend were transferred to the hospital, but Gan couldn't survive his injuries and was declared dead. Feng, on the other hand, was handed over to authorities and was slapped with a murder charge down the line, ultimately receiving a 25-year sentence behind bars. Also, just really quick, make sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss future uploads. Ayesha Akram, the so-called TikTok queen and nurse from Pakistan, was busting out lip syncs and dance move videos on TikTok in 2021 with her man Amir Sohail, aka Rambo. Yeah, so their content might make you cringe a bit, but she was on a roll, gaining 115,000 followers like it was nothing. And riding that wave of newfound fame, Ayesha and her crew of 6 decided to host a fan meetup on Pakistan's 75th Independence Day, August 14th, 2021. Now, if you're familiar with the science behind these meet and greets, you'd know that the venues for such events are super strategic. Basically, they pick spots with lots of foot traffic, like malls, popular parks, etc. So you automatically draw a big crowd. Ayesha and her team too set their sights on a public park called Minar-e-Pakistan, a place with a lot of historical context, being the country's national monument park. And naturally, with Independence Day on the calendar, the place was bound to be swarming with folks, and Ayesha and her crew were ready to milk that moment for all it was worth. As the afternoon rolled in, she and her squad landed at the park, and things kicked off smoothly. She was in her element, shooting her TikToks, meeting with fans and posing for pics. But as the day wore on, the crowd just kept growing. Around 6:30 p.m., Ayesha and her crew decided to amp things up by moving to a larger, more open area of the park. Apparently, they wanted to get in front of a bigger crowd that wasn't there specifically for the meetup, but was just out celebrating the big day. But here's where things went south. As soon as they made the move, a mob of 350 to 400 people swarmed around Ayesha and her 6 teammates, turning the vibe from fun to frightening real quick. At this point, a security official swooped in, advising Ayesha to exit the place through a safe route. But for some mysterious reason, she brushed off the warning and chose to stay put amidst what she thought were her loyal fans. In the footage, you can spot Ayesha, her boyfriend, and the security official standing behind the fence, seemingly safe. But within moments, somehow she found herself face to face with the violent mob. They surged forward, grabbing the woman, tossing her in the air, ripping her clothes, and subjecting her to brutal assault and groping. Others in her group were also beaten and robbed. In the footage, you could see security guards, even a few people trying to help, but they were no match for the 100-strong, violent mob. This horrifying ordeal dragged on for about 2 hours, until security finally managed to break up the crowd. After the brutal event, the media went wild, with everyone showing solidarity with Ayesha and her team. The state government stepped in, demanding strict action against the attackers. So the police had to go all out, geofencing a whopping 28,000 people by checking call records from those 2 hours that day. After all that digging, they managed to narrow it down to 350 suspects, but Ayesha and her crew could only identify 12 of them. 4 days after the incident, the hashtag 400men was blowing up on Twitter, with everyone rallying behind Ayesha and calling out the violent men. It was basically the talk of the internet, with support pouring in from all corners. But then the unexpected happened. Suspect number 13 was charged with orchestrating the incident. And guess who is the suspect number 13? None other than Amir Sohail, aka Rambo, aka Ayesha's main squeeze. Ayesha herself dropped his name to the authorities, pointing fingers and calling him the mastermind. Rambo gets cuffed on the spot, but Ayesha has zero proof to back up her claim. Just her word that Rambo had her intimate pics and was blackmailing her for 1 million rupees. Rambo, on the other hand, had a story to tell the media too. He claimed that it was actually Ayesha who planned her own assault for some quick fame and fortune. The blame game was in full swing, with both sides throwing punches of truth and lies. Then things took a wild turn once again, when 2 audio clips of Ayesha and Rambo's phone calls hit the internet. One clip had Rambo straight up blackmailing Ayesha for money, which backed up her story. But the other clip revealed something even more messed up. From the conversation, it seemed like Ayesha and Rambo were discussing extorting money from the suspects' families in exchange for dropping the charges, which means that she was after money, not justice, even if the whole incident wasn't entirely staged. Once these calls leaked, all those NGOs and media outlets that were rooting for her bailed out. The case went cold, with no clear resolution in sight, despite the 13 suspects, including Rambo, being charged with her assault.